welcome back to another tutorial by Big Al's Barber Channel. What we're doing today, guys, is we are going to do a number 4 on top, zero razor fade with a beard trim and a hot towel shave. As always, guys, you know my videos, my tutorials, I do them in real time, so this video will be in real time, so it's going to be a bit long. This service right here is a double service, so it usually takes me about 45 to 50 minutes to do a double service. It is a fade on top and hot towel shave with a beard trim on the sides. Okay, guys, so let's move it on quickly. We're using our Babyliss Gold FX and we're using a number 4 clip, and basically we're just running it across the top, making it nice and even. Guys, this is the structure of my fades and my cuts. If I use a machine on top, the top gets cut first. If I use scissors on top, the scissors go last. So that's just the way I do that's the way I was taught how to cut hair. This is the way I teach you guys how to do it. So since we're using a clip, using the machine on top, we're gonna go with the number 4 and we're just gonna run it around the top, make it nice and even. And that always goes first. You might be asking yourself why we do the top first. And the reason why is because when you do the top and you're using a number, you can always go one step lower on the sides around the parietal ridge, like I'm going there. And what I did is I changed out my clip to a number 3. I went a number 4 on top, so now I'm going with a number 3 clip around the edges of the head, around the crown, or the parietal ridge, as you want to call it. Just going around there, just leveling it out, making it nice and even. We already went with the number 4 on top. As I always explain to you guys, there's many ways to do fades, many ways to do haircuts. It's figuring out the fastest, easiest way for you to do it yourself in order to achieve that haircut and get that service done. Remember, guys, this right here is an excellent service. It's a double service. So if you guys aren't doing double services, then you're not doing double money. Double service costs twice as much. Remember that. A hot towel shave is usually a separate service, so a hot towel shave and a haircut is a double service. That's why it takes double the amount of time usually. But right there, I'm just going with the number 2 now. I went with the number 4 on top, number 3 around the parietal ridge. Now I use the number 2 around the edge, just real quick, just trying to get that blend on top so it looks nice and even. And then now we're gonna move along quickly, and we're gonna start taking off the side, creating our first guideline with our what we're using right here is we're using the wall balder turned upside down, zero gap. If you guys aren't up game of using a wall balder, you guys need to get a game on that, guys. It saves you a lot of money on trimmer blades. That way you're not using your trimmer blades for that. So the balder right here is a good machine, guys. It's only a $40 machine, and just imagine if you buy this balder, you will not have to use your trimmer and brace your trimmer blades on taking down a lot of bulk. This thing will mow right through the hair. It takes it off like butter. All I do is zero gap the blade, nothing special, nothing extra done to it. But I guarantee you, before I used to do this, I used to use my trimmer, and I swear I would be buying at least 2 to 3 trimmer blades a month, you know, because that's how fast you'll wear it out. So in order to not do that, I one day at a show, I bought myself this balder and decided to try it, and ever since then, this is a machine that I've been using for creating that first guideline. Sorry about my focus right here. I guess I turn the machine around, turn the customer around, the client, and you lose focus on the machine right here because I'm not looking at the camera when I'm cutting their hair, but that's what happened right here, guys. So now that we're done with the number 4 and number 3, we've got our first guideline down. Now we're gonna move quickly along. We got I used my number 3 Oster blade, and the machine I'm using right here, guys, this is a new Oster cordless turbo something or another. I forgot what it's called. The Octane. I'm sorry. I forgot the name of that thing. It's called the Octane, the Oster Octane, guys. It's a cordless machine. I just got it myself. I'm trying to go completely cordless except for my trimmers. That's the only thing that's not cordless. So I bought myself this machine. I haven't done a review on it. I will be. It's coming, but so far I love it. It's awesome to have a cordless Oster. Now I put on my Babyliss. I put on the number 1 blade, lever open, and I'm just going right up the parietal ridge, right up the side, guys. First we went with the number 3 Oster blade, then we went with the number 2 Oster blade. Now we're going with a 1.5, and we're just all blending up. It's kind of what I call step fading, guys. It went from the 3.5 to the number 2, now the 1.5. Then I dropped the blade down, the lever, dropped it down to number 1. See right there, I'm showing you guys there's a little bit of bulk right there, a little bit of darkness. So I'm just gonna go in there with my clipper over comb and just blend that out real quick. Just clean it up before we go on to the next step. Save some time, just having go back and clean up stuff at the end. So now that we went with that, what I'm gonna do is take off my well, no, I still got the number 1 blade right there, and I'm just kind of going over it one more time, just trying to blend it out, make sure that there's no dark spots. Now I take off the blade, the clip, and I'm going to go no blade, lever open, that's a half, and I'm going to go up 1 inch, guys, 1 inch. See that? As I go across, I create another guideline. Once I go across, I lower my lever 1 notch, and then I'm going to go back up to the same spot again, going around, all the way across. When I go across, I'm going to drop the notch 1 more, and I'm only going to go up halfway this time. When I go halfway up, I'm going to drop my notch 1 more, and I'm just focusing on the bottom line. I'm just raking it up, trying to push that line, push that shadow up, push it from the bottom up, very quickly, very easily. Not trying to create new shadows, just staying right there in that same spot. Now it's completely closed, and you're just focusing on the bottom line, just raking that bottom line. So basically what I did is I started from the top, went down to the bottom, took out the bottom line. Now I just have the center shadow line. Right there, I'm just working on a little bit of detail, probably like 2 notches open, and I'm just trying to stay under that half line. All I have is a half shadow line. The half shadow line, that comes up quickly. And what I'm going to use for that now is I'm going to use my half clip, lever open, and I'm basically just going to glide it across the shadow. Just raking that center shadow. As I go across, I'm going to lower my lever another notch, and I'm just focusing on that center shadow. Just focusing on that shadow right there, guys. As I go across, I'm going to lower it 1 more notch, playing with my lever, and just raking that shadow. As you rake it, you'll see it. It starts to disappear. It's like magic. But it only happens after you put in your reps, guys. This is not something that you're going to pick up extremely fast. You have to do reps. The more haircuts you do, the better you're going to get. I guarantee you that. If you're feeling discouraged or you're feeling like it's taking you a long time to learn how to fade, don't even trip. It took me 3 years to learn how to fade. But I got 17 years in the game now, so you know I've been in for the game for a little while. But at first it was difficult. It's not something that you just have to work at it, grind at it, keep grinding and grinding. So now we're gonna move on to the next section right here, guys. We're about this. Yeah, as always, you know me. I fade in 3 sections. I fade on the right side, the left side, and the back side. And as you can see right here, what I'm doing is I'm using my GTX just to go up and rake that bottom line, make sure that there's no shadow left, no lines there. Lines are the worst thing you could leave, guys. Absolutely the worst thing you could leave. So now what I always do, I spin them around. Now we're on the back side. Left side first, then the back side, and then the right side. So what I'm going to use right here first, guys, I'm going to start off with, I'm using my GTX, because you can see that there's a lot of dark shadow right there right before my first guide, because you know the wall boulder doesn't take it down as short as a trimmer. So what I do is I go back right here with my trimmer, and I just create another shave line, and that, as you can see, it creates like a dark shadow below where I'm raking right there, and that's the shadow line that we're gonna rise up with when we come up with our Bronze Series 9 shaver. Instead of creating another line, we just go right up to that line right there, and it all blends right in. Secret tricks, guys. So what I'm using right here with my Octane Austrian, I'm using my number 3.5 blade, and I'm going just right up the side of the parietal ridge. Remember, we did a number 4 on top, so now I'm going with a number 3.5. 3.5 blends in right into the number 4. Once I go with the number 4 right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my number 2 blade, because number 3 is first, number 2 blends into the number 3. So I'm swapping it out right here, coming back strong with my number 2 blade. Now we go almost to the same spot we went with the 3.5. 2 will blend right into the 3, guys. Trust me, done it a million times. It's kind of like step fading in a sense, you could say. We start from the top and then go to the bottom and then work our way to the middle and blend it all in. So right here I'm going to use my number 1 blade lever open, which is a 1.5, and I'm just going to go up almost to the top of the parietal ridge. Almost to the top where we went with the 3.5. Just a little bit shorter, not as high. And you don't want to do too many strokes because you don't want to lighten it up too much. You just want to line it up towards the bottom. Working on the bottom part. Now I lower my lever to a number 1, and I'm just focusing, going up halfway now. Just trying to lighten it up a little bit. Now that we're done with that, I'm going to pick off that clip, lever open, which is a 1/2, and I'm going to go up and create another guideline. Little dark guideline right there. See that? That's the middle I'm talking about, what we end at. Now I close it 1 notch, and I'm going to go up almost to the same spot. A little bit lower, guys. A little bit lower. As I go across, lower my notch 1 more, and I'm just going to go up halfway this time. Halfway. Halfway across. Halfway up. Now I'm going to lower my lever another notch, and I'm just focusing on the bottom shadow, just raking it up, trying to push it up as best as I can. And as you can see right there, it's not coming up all the way. So what I'm going to do now, just try to blend it out a little bit. Use your comb, and just working on that bottom line, just raking that bottom line, trying to bring it up. Simple steps, guys. Simple steps. Right here, this is all detail right here. Just taking my time. Again, this is a double service. Double services require double time. You know, your customer, you remember, guys, you're not selling your haircuts, you're selling the experience. You don't want to rush through your haircuts. You want to give the best experience that you can, so that the customer enjoys coming to you and the customer wants to come back to you. So right there, I use my GTX trimmer blade, and I just went up the top. I went under the line right there, just trying to blend out that bottom line, make sure there's no shadow. Right here, I got my cordless wall. And this is what I do sometimes when I get a little shadow that I see that I can't really bring it up. What I do is I grab my trusty wall cordless 5-star, and this is the go-to machine. So right there, I grab my half clip, and I'm just gonna go up, and I'm just focusing on the center shadow. Focusing on that center shadow. Why I switch machines, guys, I do not know. I'm like that, I'm kind of anal. When I'm cutting hair, sometimes I see a spot and I think like, oh, the wall will get this one better, and I'll just pick up the wall and then go with the wall from there. And it, it doesn't matter what machine, or you have to stick with the same machine. It really doesn't matter as long as the haircut comes out good, I think. So now that we're done with the right side and the back side, now it's time to move on to the left side. And as always, same thing, I go right back to my 3.5. 3.5 blends into the number 4 on top, guys. It's kind of like step fading. There's no need to use clipper over comb. You can go in there just to clean it up a little bit at the end, but it's not even necessary. You can see right there, the 3.5 lined it up. Now we have the center shadow in the middle. Now I'm just gonna go up and clean up that shadow right there with the number 2. Real quick. Take the number 2 right up, right below where I went with the 3.5. Not as high. Now I'm gonna grab my 1 clip, lever open, Fabulous Pro Gold FX, and I'm just gonna go right up the parietal ridge, almost where I went with the number 2, just a little bit lower. First 3.5 metal, then the number 2 metal, then I'm using the 3. You can also use clips, plastic clips, but guys, if you guys aren't hip to using metal blades, metal detachable blades, you need to get on metal detachable blades. Trust me, it's a necessity. It's extremely important. Now I'm using my Fabulous No Clip lever open. I'm gonna go up, create a little guideline. Now I lower my lever a notch, go up. It's a little bit lower than I went when I went without the notch. Now I'm gonna go 1 up notch, halfway. I'm gonna go halfway up now. Halfway up. Close another notch. And I'm just raking the bottom line, just focusing on the bottom line. Now all we're left is a center shadow right there. You can see a little dark spot in the middle. Just focusing on the bottom line right here, just raking it. Sometimes I go up, go down with the lever, just cleaning it all up, making sure that it looks nice and tight. Make sure that there's no shadows, no lines. Now I'm gonna go back to my cordless wall senior, lever open. with a half clip on, just focusing on that center shadow. Remember on the last one I was having problems with the center shadow, so what I did, I just went right back to the senior. And this is what I do sometimes. I have an arsenal of machines that, I could see something's not coming up real easy, so then I'll move it to a different machine, and that machine will get it. You gotta be versatile on what you do with what machines you use and how you're doing it, guys. Focusing on that center shadow right there. Just a nice little blend. No lines, no shadows, guys. No lines, light shadows, should I say. So right there, I just go back with my GTX trimmer, and what I'm doing is cleaning up that bottom line, making sure I clean up the little shave spot, like I told you, or I'm gonna go back and shave with. Like when I go back with my shaver, it's a lot easier. But on this gentleman right here, we actually didn't even really need to do that because we didn't use a shaver on him. We actually are going to use a straight razor on him, because the reason being, guys, is that this gentleman asked for a razor fade with a hot towel shave. So if you're going to hot towel shave the person with a straight razor on the face, you might as well do it on the side of the head too. That way they get the whole experience, guys. Remember, we're not selling haircuts, we're selling experience. You gotta elevate your shaves, you gotta elevate your haircuts, so that way you can charge more. If you're stuck at a $10 shop, it's probably because you're doing $10 haircuts. You gotta move yourself to a higher, shop where they charge more. That way you could charge more. But at the same time, your game has to elevate too. You can't keep your game the same. So here I just go back with my clipper over comb, no clip on the wall, senior, cordless, and I'm just basically just doing a little cleanup, a little blender on the edge, just making sure it's nice and tight. So what I'm doing here, guys, is just doing a little bit of detail work. As I detailed up that side right there, I just decided, I'm just gonna go all the way around the edges and make sure if there's any dark spots, I'm just gonna clean them up. So I put my clip back on there. See, I put my one clip lever open, and I seen a little dark shadow right there, as you can see it, and then just kind of like blending it up, making sure there's no dark spots. Dark spots are the worst thing you can have when you're doing a fade. You don't want to have no dark shadows, no dark spots, especially no lines. So this is just part of fading. It's just doing a little bit of detail work that you should always go back and double check your work before you continue on to the next step. And I always like to do this, just double checking my work. So at this point, the haircut's pretty much done as far as the haircut part. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to concentrate on the lineup real quick. Line them all up, and as always, I line up one side first, spin them around, line up on the other side. Guys, I really have no system to cutting to doing the lineups. I kind of just go with what I like to. Well, I take that back. My system is I do one side. I don't go all the way across the forehead, and I work on one corner. Once I'm done with that corner, I'll flip them around. If you're not good at lineups, guys, and you feel like you're not doing them straight, a good word of advice that you can use, or tool that you can use to try to get it done the right way, is use a business card. Put a business card right up against his forehead and use that corner to measure that corner. Make sure that it's a 90-degree angle, because you want your corner to be a 90-degree angle. Keep that in mind. So right here I flip them around. Now I'm doing the other side. I'm just making that corner, making it nice and tight. Lining it up right there. Never push a man's lineup too far back, guys. That's the number one main rule of doing lineups. I always try to visualize that corner, and even sometimes a lot of men don't have that corner there. Especially if we're older guys like myself, or receding hairlines already, they might not even have that corner there. So if they don't have the corner there, then you have to pretty much make an imaginary line with the trimmer not going any higher than it is. You know what I mean? So right here at this point, the haircut's pretty much done, guys. We did the lineup, we did the fade on the sides. We still got to shave the sides, but what we're gonna do is move along, and we're gonna go on to the next part right here. So the next part's going to be the beard, guys. On the beard, what we're going to do on this gentleman is we're going to, first of all, he doesn't like the length on it. He wants to take it down nice and tight. So what we decided to go with, we're going to go with a number 1.5 Ostra clip, 1.5, and just take it nice and tight right off to the skin. So basically, I grab my Ostra Octane, my new machine, my new love of my arsenal, and grab my number 1.5 Ostra clip, metal clip, not a plastic clip, guys. Because look, imagine doing this part right here with a plastic clip. You cannot do that. It's just too hard, guys. So we got the number 1.5, and we're just running it along all the sides of the beard right there, and in every direction, wherever you see the hair. As always, I do one side of the face first, and then I spin them around, and then I'll do the other side. Not the type of barber that likes to go from side to side and go all the way around to the other side. If you follow the same lines, you can stay symmetrical. Trust me. So right there, I just knocked it all down to 1.5. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to line it up now. And line it up with my GTX trimmer. So basically, I always start right here in the same spot. Always start on that side of that sideburn going downward. Then I asked him right there if he wanted it. I asked him if he wanted it right up against the jawline or if he wanted it nice and low at the bottom. And he told me he wanted it towards the middle, but as I went towards the corner to bring it up a little higher. So right there, I'm just cleaning up all the long hairs, guys. We're still gonna shave him with a straight razor. But I'm just trying to get all the bulk down, get all the big hairs. Not really worried about getting it nice and smooth. Just removing, getting a nice straight line. That when we go in with a straight razor, we already have our guidelines there. We don't have to go any higher with a straight razor. We can just follow the lines that we've created already. Again, we're only doing one side. We're not doing both sides. You never see me go across the face. I don't really like doing that. I think that when you do that, you have the tendency to come up more crooked. So right here, I'm just doing the top of the beard, just lining up that. Right there, I'm just kind of pushing down the hair. I'm kind of lining it up, but not lining it up, because what I'm going to do right there when I come back with a straight razor, that's when you make your nice straight line with your straight razor. Go below the lip, then above the lip. Below the lip and then above the lip. Just tighten up the mustache, make it nice and tight. Beard trims are always a great way to add more money to your services, guys. If you guys aren't offering beard trims, and if a customer wants a beard trim, you should offer them a beard shave, because a hot towel shave, because then you're adding to your services. So then a $20 service becomes a $35 service or a $40 service. You know, you got to upsell your services, guys. Always upsell yourself. So what I'm doing right here is, again, the 1.5 octane, 1.5 Ostra with the octane blade, with the octane machine. If you guys haven't got an octane yet, guys, I'd consider it. It's so versatile, so strong, and you know what? It's so easy, and it's so nice not having cords. You know, and ever since I bought this, I put down the Model 10, and I haven't picked it back up. And I'm really happy with it so far. So far, so good. There's been a couple of times where I went in to really thick hair, and it didn't seem to really work that good. So I was like, oh man, what's going on here? But you know what? I just stayed with it. It's a great machine. I highly recommend it. So right there again, guys, with a GTX trimmer, and as always, I start right there on the side of the sideburn first. Then I come back and come back to my middle, and just trying to get this nice, as straight line as I can. Of course, I'm still gonna go in with a straight razor. So when I go in with a straight razor, I'll get to clean up all the stubble. It's not necessary to leave it completely smooth. You have to be careful on this part right here, guys, because sometimes you'll irritate the skin using the trimmer blade. The skin under this part of the body right here is very sensitive, and sometimes just irritates up. So make sure that you're not your blade set properly so that you don't, you know, irritate the skin too much. Again, once I do the bottom, I always come back to the lip. Bottom of my lip first, top of the lip second. Nice and straight. Just get it nice and straight. Makeover's already looking better. Always keep your canvas clean, guys, when you're doing your work. Use your blow dryer. Have a powerful blow dryer, guys. If you're not using a powerful blow dryer, you need to blow all that hair right off of the person. I always use my twin turbo 2200 turbo. It's the best kind of blow dryer you could have. Other than maybe a Dyson, but I haven't got into the Dysons yet. Not just yet. I will eventually. So right here, what I'm doing, guys, is I'm just blending out the sideburn, blending it down to a 0. That way, when I go in and do my shaves, I already know where I can stop and where I gotta keep going. So I start off with no clip, first taking out the top line. And once I take off the top line, then what I do is I come in with my half clip in reverse order from what I did on my fade on the side of the head. Start off with it closed, and as you go down, you open it up a little bit more. Once you open it up, then you put on your one clip. So just doing a little bit of detail work, cleaning it all up before I start up with my razor blade. At this point, the haircut and the beard trim is pretty much done. If this was a haircut and a beard trim, this would be pretty much what you get. But since he's getting the hot towel shave, then we're gonna come in with a straight razor now. This is just all detail work right here, guys. So at this point, we're pretty much done with the haircut. Now it's time to prep our customer for the hot towel shave. And these are the steps that I always do, guys. I always put my back rest in first. Then I lay him back, make sure that he's nice and comfortable. Once I have him laid back and comfortable, then I'm gonna come in with a towel, and I'll put a towel I like to drape the towel under his shirt. And the reason being that you do this, guys, is because when you're applying hot lather, if your hot lather happens to be a little runny, or sometimes the lather dries up a little bit, and you don't want it to run down onto his shirt and stain his shirt. You don't want your customer leaving your shop with a shirt full of aftershave. So the best solution for that is put a towel like this. And this is pretty much what you're doing when you're dressing your customer, guys. So what I'm going to apply here first, guys, I'm going to apply the Art of Shaving shave oil, guys. If you guys aren't up game on the Art of Shaving products, you need to get on it. And guys, if you guys aren't up on game on the Art of Shaving is a shave products that they sell at the mall. It's an exclusive brand. I provided the links below, guys. I've seen these before, but I never, I just thought like, it's probably just another shave product. But no, these are premium shave products, guys. Premium. This oil right here that I'm applying to him is so thick that it just softens everything up. And I'm applying it on the beard also because it's going to soften his beard also. And when you apply it, guys, it's just not just about applying it, it's about giving him like a facial, a face massage. You can see that go under his jawbone. I rub his chin, and just make sure that his skin gets stimulated, that the oil gets nice and soaked into the skin. Once I'm done with that, guys, now what I'm going to use is the Art of Shave shaving cream, and the brand that I'm using, the flavor that I'm using, guys, is I'm using sandalwood. So right here, you apply your shave solution into your brush, and you start beating it hard, beating it right, circular motion until it lathers up. Once it lathers up, what I like to do is grab my little brush, and then I'm just gonna apply it to all the parts that I'm gonna shave. So I'm gonna apply it on the chin, on the cheeks, under the chin. Just get them all nice and lathered up. Once we apply the hot lather, and it's not really hot lather, guys. It's more of a warm lather, because you use hot water on your brush, and when you beat the cream into a lather, it comes out nice and warm. And like I said, I like to lather them all up completely the way I just did, and then I'm gonna come in here with a nice hot towel, guys. A nice hot towel. And these are hot steaming towels that I like to have in my steamer ready for when I do shaves like this. And if you guys have never had a hot towel shave, guys, this is an amazing feeling when you apply this hot towel onto a customer. Stuff like this, guys, is what makes customers come back. Remember, you're not selling the shave, you're selling the experience, and this is part of the experience. Giving that facial rub into the skin, applying the hot lather, applying a hot steamy towel. Uh, while usually while I'm doing this right here, where the hot steamy towel is getting on his face, what I like to do now is I'll prep my blade, and the blades that I'm using right here, I'm using Feather Pro Guard blades. Feather Pro Guard blades with Feather Artist razor handle. If you guys have never used Feather Guard blades, oh my god, these are the best blades ever. Feather carries three different types. There's a Feather, there's a professional, and then there's a super professional, I think it's called. But I like using the Pro Guard. The Pro Guard are a little bit more forgiving if you have a heavy hand like I do. I've used the professional, but it seems like every time I use them, I've nicked somebody. So I think I just have a heavy hand. But right here, what I always do is I always start on the same spot when I'm doing my shaves. I start off right there in that corner, and if you guys notice, it's a matter of maneuvering the head and pulling the skin when you're doing a hot towel shave. A straight razor shave. You have to really position the head into the position that you're comfortable doing it, and at the same time maintain a steady hand. So this is my downstroke right here, and just like when I do lineups and stuff like that, I like to do one side of the face first. Once I do that one side of the face, then I move on to the other side. So right there, I'm doing the bottom of the neckline first. Now I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna do the cheeks. Do the cheeks, line up the beard. Not really being able to see what I'm doing right here, guys. But this is a difficult one to film in here, right here, when you're filming a shave, because the camera is in awkward positions, and you want to get the best angle and the best view, but at the same time, it's a little difficult. It's right up on the cheek. Nice and easy, guys. Remember, you're selling the experience, not the haircut, not the shave. It's all about the customer feeling pampered, feeling good, feeling nice and soft when he leaves, enjoying his service, and giving you that thumbs up so that, hey, you get that person to come back into your chair again. That's the name of the game. Get that customer to say, hey, that was incredible. Guys, the secret of this right here too, I'm not even lying to you, is using these products. These products are incredible. The art of shaving, the shave, to me, since I've started using these products, I've already been on them for about 2 months. I feel that my shaves are come on that much better, and I feel like I'm struggling a lot less. Like, it just, you use the right equipment and the right products, and you could just make your job a lot easier. So right here, I start off in the middle again, and I'm just gonna carry the same lines that are already there, stretching out. You notice how I pull on the chin and try to stretch them out as much as possible. That's the most tender part right there, right where the Adam's apple is. I've cut several people there. Don't be afraid to do these because you feel like you're gonna cut somebody, guys. Just remember this, okay? When you do a shave, when you use a straight razor, there's always the potential that you're gonna cut somebody. Always. And 95% of the time when you do nick somebody, they're not even gonna feel it. They're not even gonna know. You take care of the nick, and like a lot of times, 90% of the time when I nick somebody, I don't even let them know that I nicked them. I just take care of the cut and put some septic powder on it, dry it off, and before the haircut's even done, it stop bleeding already. And at the end, I'll mention it to them. Oh, you got a little nick right there, but you'll live. You'll be good. So same steps as on the other side. I do below the jawline first, and then I come up and I do the cheek. Line up the mustache. Right there, I'm taking care of right below the lip, the lower lip. Take your time. I I feel like I've been elevating my shave game a lot lately, and I contributed to the fact that I'm using superior shaving products and superior blades, and just I want to give my customers the best experience as possible when they come in and get a shave like this. That's why you got to take your time and do it right. And this gentleman right here, he booked an appointment. He booked an appointment and he set it up for himself so he can come in and get pampered. And that's exactly what I want to give him. I want him to think like, hey, that was the best $40 I spent. Straight up. That's what you want your customer to come back. So right there, you notice I'm pulling back the head, nice and stretched. And what I'm gonna do is I'm coming against the grain now. First I went with the grain, now I'm coming against the grain. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is how you get an exceptional shave. You have to go against the grain. I know when you're first starting off, I know I did the same thing. I didn't like going against the grain because I felt like the blade was tugging. And once you develop that skill and that maneuverability with the blade, going against the grain is really not an issue. And I go up against the grain almost on at least 90% of the people. I'm not gonna lie. There's been a couple of customers where I come up on them and they have some stubble that's incredibly crazy. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm not even gonna try to go against the grain on this guy. So I'll go with the grain, and sometimes I'll try not to, but if it's one of those stubbly guys, I'll throw my Bronze Series 9 in there, slip it in real quick, and clean them up. If I have like one or two stubbles that just don't want to come out. That's a good way of just finishing off the shave at the end. If you feel a little stubble there and you're scared that you're gonna go in there, because sometimes when you're doing a shave, you think like, oh man, there's a stubble there still, and I can't feel it, and I can't get it, and you go in there to try to get it again, and what happens? You end up cutting the person, and that's happened to me before. So sometimes it's you gotta know when to fight the fight, and when not to. So shaving, there's. Of course, when you go to barber school, they're gonna give you shave steps that you gotta follow and this and that, and that's all fine and dandy when you're going to school. But once you get out of school, guys, it's not really like that. It's about finding your pattern, finding your way of doing things, finding a system of cutting hair, a system of doing shaves, and once you develop your own system, then you run with your system. Right here, just lining up, making that line nice and straight. This is when you really detail it right here and try to get a nice and upstroke on the cheeks. Same thing, guys. Go against the grain on the cheeks. So at this point, we're at about 40, almost going to hit 40 minutes on this haircut and beard shave, and we're relatively almost done. So the shave is pretty much complete. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get myself another hot steamer towel and apply it again, guys. It's the experience. It's how it feels when they put a hot steaming towel on your face and it feels warm and it feels good. And this is a little trick that I like, and I just recently started doing this. But after my second hot towel, what I like to do, guys, is I like to grab my Oster massager, hand massager, and what I do is, and I've been doing this now already for the last 2 months, guys, and you will not understand how people appreciate this little extra service right here. See that? Just all I do is just turn it on, and basically I'm just letting it rub against his face or under his chin, on his chin, on his temple, on his head, and I do this just the entire 2 or 3 minutes that the customer is having the steamer towel on him. And I can tell you right now, I can attest to you that the customers love this. And it was funny because the other day a gentleman came in, and I've been giving him shaves, and he got a shave by one of the other guys, and then he looked over at the guy and he goes, hey, what happened to my massage? And he goes, oh, I'm sorry, you gotta go for Big Al with that one. But I told my buddy, I told my worker, I told him, you need to get yourself a massager. See that? And that's what happens sometimes. You do a little bit extra, and other people want the same. They want that same service. So once that's done right there, guys, I use that same towel, that same wet towel, just to wipe his face down and get it nice and clean. And now what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna come off and finish this shave with some art of shaving aftershave. And this, I'm not gonna lie, I love aftershaves, but this aftershave, it just complements the oil and the shave cream. So, if you guys are interested in trying out this art of shaving products, I provided links below. I provided 3 different big links. There's a big set that has all the full size lotions and oils and the cream, or they have a sample set, or they have a travel set. So the travel set's only like 25 bucks, but it's a good way for you to get a good feel of whether you like these products or not. But if you take my word for it, I would get the big set because it's definitely worth it. You're gonna love it. Your customers are gonna love it, and they're gonna just appreciate you, and they're gonna appreciate that you're using good products on them. That's what it's all about, guys. It's about giving the best service that you can, so that your customer comes back in your chair. Right there, I just dabbed them with a little bit more aftershave, and basically we're almost done here, guys. And the only thing left now is, of course, I told you guys it's a razor fade. So we're gonna come now and we're gonna do a razor. We're gonna razor out the sides also. So normally on a normal haircut, especially if he's getting a beard trim, I wouldn't even do a razor fade with a straight razor. I would just come in with the Bronze Series 9 and shave him. But this gentleman, since he got the hot towel shave, a hot towel shave with the straight razor, I think it all just complements it to get the straight razor on the side of the head also. And on the side of the head, the lather that I use is hot lather. It's not the one from the artist shaving. It's from my lather machine. So that hot lather complements the hot towel, the straight razor shave on the side of the head. If you never had hot lather on your neck or on the side of your ears, guys, my God, it feels so good. I remember when I was a kid, the first time the barber did that to me, it was amazing. So right here, all we're doing here is just cleaning up the fade a little bit. I went back and this is what I call detail work, and just checking out, make sure there's no shadows, no dark spots, make sure that everything looks good, it looks nice and tight, looks nice and clean before we move on to the next step. So at this point, what we're going to do now, guys, is we're going to apply some hot lather, and I'm going to use the same shave brush that I used on his face. I'm just going to apply the hot lather with that. I got some hot lather from the hot lather machine, put it in my little cup, and I'm just going to, get them nice and lathered up. Again, guys, if you guys have never gotten a razor shave on the side of your head, oh my God, it feels amazing. Especially when you use hot lather. It complements the shave, guys. It just complements the shave. For those of you that don't understand this is what this is. This is actual straight razor shave on the side of the head, guys. Before we use electric shavers, this is how we did all razor fades. Electric shavers only started coming into the game maybe, I want to say 13 years ago is when I started using one, probably 12 years ago. Before that, we did all our razor fades with razors, and I never got to use an electric shaver until way later. I want to say maybe like 12, 13 years ago is when they started using a shaver on the side of the head. But before that, it was just all straight razor. So right there, if you guys can see it, I marked that. See how I use my thumb to mark that? That's my shave line. I don't go any higher than that with the razor. And when I start off, as you guys can see, when I start off shaving it, I start off with a little wiggle move. Look at this. Right here, I'm going to show it to you guys. It's going to be like a little wiggle move. See that how I wiggle the blade? Wiggle it, and then I just go with a nice long stroke. That wiggle, what that does is that prevents you from getting another shave line. You do not want to create a shave line with your straight razor. That's the worst shave line to get out. So to eliminate that, you do this little wiggle. See that? Bang, wiggle, then just come all the way straight down. We'll just wiggle it, bam, and then come straight down. And use your thumb right there to create your shave line. See how I went over with the shave right there? What I'm gonna do is come in with my thumb and wipe it off. So that way I know. See that? Boom. That's my shave line. From there, I start it up. Come down. do all my razors fade the same way, guys. Look at that. Boom. There's my shave line. Clean it up a little bit. Don't go any higher. Wiggle and come straight down. Wiggle, come down. Do the wiggle, wiggle. It's exactly what it is, guys. The wiggle, wiggle. Remember, guys, if this video seems like it's long, it's because it is long. It's a double service. But if you hung in there this long, guys, you know what? You care about what you're doing. I'll give you guys that. Because most people don't hang in there this long for videos. So if you're listening to this and you're getting my concept, please leave me a comment below and tell me I get your concept. And then I'll appreciate you for hanging in there this long. This haircut is pretty much done, guys. We did the face, we did the shave on the outside. All we got left now is just pretty much last minute cleanups, last minute touch-ups. Make sure there's no lines, no shadows, no nada. So we went over a few things today. We explained shaves, we explained how to upsell yourself, how you upsell your services, how to add on things. You know, guys, I feel like my shaves have been coming out so good lately that I'm gonna develop a higher service. I'm gonna develop a presidential shave. That I've been looking at other people doing videos on how to do shaves, and you know, I just want to elevate my shave game, and I think you guys should too. You know, elevating your shave game is important. You know, if you're not even using a straight razor, guys, man, you guys should be using a straight razor, because you know what? If you call yourself a barber, you should be using a straight razor. So right there, guys, I'm just using my comb and my machine, just basically even out the top, guys, making sure that everything is nice and level. If you see that comb that I'm using right there, guys, that's one of those $1.99 metal gold plated metal combs that I have listed below in my description. Very nice combs. I'm not even gonna lie, they are so worth it. I don't even like using plastic combs no more. I just been using nothing but these metal combs now, and I'm just getting used to them. So right there again, using my blow dryer, clean my canvas, make sure everything's nice and straight, make sure everything looks nice and clean. Now I'm gonna apply some shave solution so that I could do his lineup. When I do lineups, I always use shave gel. I do not use shaving cream on the forehead, and the reason being is because when you're shaving with shaving cream, you're kind of shaving blind. You can't see. It's like fog. You can't see through it. So you gotta just drive through it. But you know, when you're doing a lineup, you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you're able to see where you're going and where to stop, and where the line starts and where the line ends. So that's my solution for that, as I use shave oil or shave gel on the forehead, and that eliminates that. Now I'm just gonna wipe my customer down, get him all nice and prepped, nice and clean. This pretty much haircut is over, guys. If you guys hung in there this long, guys, I appreciate you guys watching this channel. Remember, guys, I vlog about 4 days a week. I'm trying to do at least 2-3 tutorials a week. Doing product reviews. I'm a little behind on my product reviews, but you know, guys, I'm just grinding, and we're just here to motivate and educate. And I hope you guys love this channel. I hope you guys are going to continue to watch my videos. If you guys have any questions, any concerns, anything you guys want me to talk about, any videos you guys want me to make, leave a comment below. I appreciate you guys watching, and that's it for today, guys. Catch you guys on the next video. Lates.